Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
Now let's add the evaluate expression calculated fields to this report. Now you take the same scenario when employee is active, get active status. When employee is terminated, get terminated. When employee went on leave, get on leave kind of status and add this to report and see how it works. For that we need to have three characteristics. One is text constant, active, terminated and on leave. And then do a condition when employee is active, return this thing, add this condition and add all these conditions to evaluate expression. These are the three steps that we are going to perform now. Something like if else. If else. If this is true, get this. Else get the default value kind of thing. Just observe. If you're seeing any kind of confusion, just ask me. I'm trying to create a field text constant with all those three text values active, terminated on leave. We have created 3 text constant values active terminated on leave. Now we need to have 3 true or false conditions which defines when such condition is satisfied. This has to leave. This text constant has to be attached to those. Let me clear 2 of those conditions. Here we will take the Boolean values we have on worker status. Amit, did you go through the functions, the types of functions in any of the classes, and did I miss it? No, these are the only functions. Last session, this session covers what all we discussed. The function you're selecting right, like true, false condition text constant. What are the other types of functions did you discuss in other classes? I think whatever I've shown you, the substring format, date format, text concatenation. I got substring values. I think you discussed. I remember now. Those are the things I've covered. I'm taking this one, which actually is a Boolean value active status. Or you can also take if there is anything called is employee active. It's an employee business object. This session worker business object is employee active. This session is actually works well other than active status. The reason why is worker is employee, worker is active. The difference between the one that I have taken earlier. This one is active status. Active status, this is the session worker. And this goes into the loan and back to service. I'll just mention by showing that is employee active will work more efficiently than this is. And this one is employee active. This is not provided by. This is actually created kind of. And the reason why it works more efficiently is active status worker. It should be looking for all the worker types. It will be going into worker, the terminated and looks for active status. Workers are contractor and looks for active status. Workers are who went on leave and looks for active status. It will bring it down to all other fields and identifies whether worker is active or not. But the one that it is, this one is, we have given worker is employed. Workers should be employee and workers should be active. This will not go for all the worker types. This will just look for worker is an employee. Then make sure that the worker is active or not. This works more efficiently than this one. This is employee active field. Is it kinda like common to every organization? Because I have also used this in my company, this particular field. Yes, this is mostly used. Worker is an employee is a delivered for first condition. But you told me like is active employee is a calculated field, right? See what the, yes, he's active employee. This one is a calibrated field. The calculated field I have also used. I'm asking like if this is his active employee, calculated field is something like very common among companies. Most of the developers, most of the reporting analysts, when they have a requirement that they need to choose active employees instead of using the delivered one, they can use this also. I think every organization where they have a requirement for active employees, they can go for this one as well. Worker is an employee. Active status are two delivered fields. This works more efficiently when this kind of calculated field is created. Worker is an employee is called as S instead of active status, and worker is active is given as S. This works in a more efficient way than just looking for all worker types. I'm adding this as active employee. I'm adding active status of first condition. What else is remaining? Terminated and only. Amit, sorry, what did you just do? I just kind of lost the flow. We created three text constants and we created a calculated field with true false condition, right? This is a step we completed. We have actually created a false condition that actually looks for active employees. Now we are creating for terminated one. It looks good. Terminated. I am taking another Boolean value which works. It looks for terminated employees. There is one more free termination date based on report. I will save that as well by giving our operator. This one works well for actually identifying terminated employees. Terminated based on report date. This also looks for terminated employees. I would like to take that as well because this also works based on report effective date. Anything will be executed. This one will be executed or this one will be executed. We created termination condition. The last one that is remaining is only. We'll just create that and go for evaluation. But for the previous case where you gave our termination date is yes, which means like if the profile has a termination date, then you're going to pull that. You're going to say yes, right? But there is a chance like this could even show us a rehire people also right. Because they will have a termination date, but then they rehire. In that case, what we need to do is, if you don't want to have rehires, you can also use generally what it looks is it looks for even though it has got rehired. The current employee status would be active right. It will not look for the historical terminated employees. It will currently look for current terminated status of the employee. Though, if your employee has got rehired, would have got terminated earlier and now would have got rehired, the current status of employee would be active right if it is employee rehired also. It will look for only current terminated status of employees. In such cases, it will not look for all the terminated employees from last 1 year. The kind of thing where it is not looking in that way. It was looking in that way. there is a chance to actually get all the terminated workers as well. The description says, when the current status of employee is terminated, will the value. You are actually taking a report based on current date. Whenever you are running a report, current date as of today, whenever you are running a report as of today who are terminated. Just pull those values that you are seeing. No, I'm asking like, how did you come to like? How do you know you're running it based on current date? Is it because in the bracket it says based on report date? It's based on report date. It's actually when you're currently running the report. This actually takes that date. Got. And there is one more field called terminated, all the lower. For some reason that is not showing up here. That actually exclude a rehearse. All is one field that we have that actually excludes all the rehearse and gets on the current terminating invoice. But for some reason that is not showing up here. It should be having your current live tenant actually. Which one is leave? Now we have all the 3 text conscious boundaries and 3 door false conditions. Now the left out thing. The last thing that we need to do is bundle all these calculated fields into one function called evaluate function. The only one category which mixes all other cover. Logical requirement. This is what works well to define conditions and conditions. Well, I mean in this, return value of condition is true column. We have to give only a calculated field, or can we give any constant, no text constant, any text constant, or anything you know that is related to the text value that they have given here, right? The field type you have taken as text here. Anything related to text constant, if you wanted to give, you can give anything. Can I manually type like active? No, 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 you cannot do that. That is not a free text value. That would have been easier, right? What I've created. Now when all these conditions are satisfied, return this value. Not default, value should be empty. But in this default value, you can define anything that you wanted to have. For now, I've given empty string which actually returns empty in case if nothing is getting satisfied other than these three. Let's take this. No report will be evaluating this thing. The reason why most of the cases what they recommend. Report performance will get down when you're actually increasing the amount of calculated finish in the report. But if there is no any other alternate option that you have to get the defined value, there is no option to exclude. We need to use that one. Let's look for terminator. It looks like termination status. Let's see. Only one is there. When totally we could look for that. And then you can leave. That's we typically evaluate this thing. Similarly, whatever we've done now, you can replicate the same kind of character for most of the requirements that come on your way. Let's say, if you're actually creating a benefit report where you are creating a benefits report, benefit vendor has their own requirements. They actually have the file that you're sending to them. They say like if employees enrolled a medical plan, get the value called M, it's employee enrolled to healthcare plan. Just get a check if employee enrolled the accidental plan. Just get a kind of things in a that scenario will be creating the same kind of calculated false condition if employee enrolled to medical plan. Then define conditions in that way. Then give it a constant ahem kind of things. You'll be actually creating an extension and again bundle all together and evaluate from the report all the defined values that vendor is expecting. Similarly, all the logical conditions that you'll be getting on your way should be defined in this way in order to execute those conditions and get a required intended output. Can you please clear the filter in the employee status column? No, I just thought I saw something like a different value there, but it's correct. This covers the most important, most critical. Where whenever you get a complex reporting type with evaluations, this kind of difference that you need to create. Let's go ahead and see what else would be kind of important thing. The arithmetic is very simple, which performs mathematical calculations. You just need to insert multiplication of all the mathematical operations rate. You'll be adding. Let's take one requirement. Now we're applying. I think this report has total base. We have total base here. Now there is a request from your compensation team asking, hey, I wanted to have 10% bonus added to current bonus, current base fee. 10% is a bonus amount that we're going to add as part of bonus period. Get me all the report that gives me 10% of additional bonus amount to the employees that were added. That would be a kind of requirement. What do? You have a base fee and based on this base fee you go for arithmetic calculation. You know how to do that. I haven't done it through this cap fee, but in general. Just get 10% of that and add it to the base fee. How do you get the percentage? I mean, you're asking in Workday. No, you said you have done it right. How did you get the percentage? No, I said no. I said I haven't done it. In any scenario, when you have such kind of requirement, calculated fee is the only option. Without calculated fee, you cannot get the percentage of the current base fee. Since you have taken currency as a field type here, elevating all the currency values only, if you take numeric, any of the numeric value that comes will be populated. But since we are trying for amount, I took the currency and took the dollar symbol as the United States. When total base pay is this, we need to have 10% of base pay as a bonus amount. Tencent rates of 10% of your bonus amount. This is also one important mathematical expression which can be used for all your mathematical logical requirements. Most of compensation related reports will use the automatic calculator fees. When dealing with compensation related reports, annual compensation statement, annual bonus fee statement, all these kind of requirements you'll be using. This is actually looking for all this thing, right? I've taken an arithmetic calculator for the United States that is actually creating a problem. People who has other currency other than EST, this is not going to evaluate. Now I'll do a correction. I turned up the EST. Just if I keep all of the currency there already, there is checkbox. There's going to be about any one currency has to be selected. Maybe one card to anybody. Or you should not see the edit. Let's see, for all the total base payment, 10% has got calculated. There is a 10% amount, a kind of bonus there. Whenever you have such kind of compensation calculations, first thing that you need to do is whether your arithmetic will work or not. Because most of the calculated reference will be some of existing compensation related values. You need to obviously match them in order to get the finalized arithmetic value, which you need to use this function called the arithmetic function. Right now we have used on current base pay get a 10% amount, which would be a kind of bonus amount. Tomorrow you might be having a different requirement. Combination of bonus amount and base pay should be some other kind of compensation value that your organization may have. In such scenario, you still need to go to arithmetic, calibrate, function and do some of the other things in there. Any question? No, this is clear. Sorry, can you tell me what is the first one? Aggregate related instance. This one. It's not much important actually. These aggregates related instance values. Let's create this one. When you know aggregated related instance, you should be knowing count related instance and sum related instance. There will be one more calculated fill function called sum related instance. Aggregate sum and count related. These three are similar kind of calculated fills which works looking for related value and gets the value. Let's say now we have related instance, let's say dependent. Let's say we are creating a worker and we want to know how many dependents are there. We'll be taking the related instance as a kind of dependent and add it to the aggregated related instance. It will be aggregating all the related instance and then we will be giving the finalist value. What is that related value it will be giving? Similarly, count also. When you take the same case for count related instance, it will be counting all the related instance and will be giving the exact count. All these three functions work in a similar way. When you have sustain of requirement, you can take it. Let me do one scenario for the related instance. What can I take from the related instance? Let's see. I'm trying to actually think in what scenario dependence we have condition here. This is the relationship to a spouse, and this will actually aggregate the value and gives how many number of spouses will be returned for an employee. If it has too many, any kind of employee has relationship with more than you know, whatever the calculate that I've taken right. When employee is associated with all this sport relationship that I've taken, it will be returning that aggregated value for that one. This is more than one value for an employee. Another employee has multiple relationship types. Whatever is there in the system, generally it will be returning. If any multiple spouses or multiple sirens or something will be there, it will be aggregating that and will return all the values in the finalized value. Most of the scenarios you'll be using aggregated count and some related mentions for your bonus type of things. When you wanted to have mixture of a bonus amount, you might be getting joining bonus, you might be getting COVID bonus, you might be getting some special bonus. All these bonus are there, right? When you wanted to get a finalized output of all this bonus amount. In that cases, you're using aggregated instance and count related instance. If not the count of all the bonus that is there in the system, you're getting count and sum is, works as same aggregated instance only. But the only thing is the way that you take the draw first condition in both aggregate and sum is a little different. Other than that, both features are same. I'll take it related to some related instance. Count. Related instance are also used mostly when you wanted to have finalized. Look at the data amount similar to the arithmetic one. Less scenarios, you go for those things. And the other rest of the functions are regular like format, date format, build, date and date difference kind of things. You will see. Just mostly common and understandable functions and date constant. Date constant is nothing but text constant we have taken now, right? Text constant are active, terminated only we have taken it. Similarly, you can do date constant when you wanted to maintain the standard date for all the rows of the report. If you wanted to maintain the constant date, you will be taking the text constant. And evaluate expression, we have done right. Similarly, evaluate expression band. There will be a kind of I don't know whether your organization has any kind of specific bands across the job levels. When you have such kind of bands, same expression, same kind of process that we have done, define to our first condition, take text constant for the band and do the evaluation. Same kind of stuff, you are going for bands as well. And format, all kind of format functions you should see here. We have done format text, you have format number and you have format date which looks in a similar manner, which formats the date in a way that you want it to have. I think we have done both. Format number, format date and format text are there, which works to format all the date functions and all the number functions. Lookup related probably will get you more. Understandable format, how to relate your primary business object to related business object in an easy, understandable way. I have created multiple fields, but I will get one defined graphical format that makes you to easily understand the logic that we are using. When you wanted to get lookup value from single and several from multiple cells, how to get that and how do you relate primary to related to lookup. I will be defining some kind of pictorial format and for data visualization and getting you in our next session. I think other than that prompt value, if you wanted to give a kind of prompt, you can give substring. We have already used in order to break the text values. We will be using the substring and toward almost all the things, but you can go through. Whichever function that you wanted to actually reiterate, you can redefine in our tomorrow's session. And tomorrow I will be giving you multiple examples for lookup and the prompt for value. Can I have like one example? No, you know prompt value. Because at report level you'll be having a prompt, right? This does not make sense. Even if you take this, let's see what it does. But most this is not used in your reporting, because you have a direct prompt field at your report level which you can use as a prompt. But let's see what it does. A confirm prompt field state control of the prompt field. Of course, you will not use that calculated function. The unique function, the weak prompt feature that we already have in the report, where you go for calculated fields. I don't know if this is an exhibit or probably not, but this is a kind of natural prompt based on the text type that you have given there. I don't think it really looks for the value what I entered. But in most of the cases you will not prefer prompt for calculated functions, because you already have something that works at report level, which looks like this one, but this will not look as intended. It's just try to avoid using prompt for calculated fields. This just works just as a kind of robot. It will not. Actually, there is no kind of inbuilt feature to identify the text value or any kind of numeric value that we entered. There is no kind of any specific feature for this one. It just worked as a prompt one but will not identify the actual values. That sits in the report. I think take it as just a prompt for you when you are actually creating reports. But other than that, it will not look for the exact value that sits in the report. And same as prompt. Only whatever you have at report level prompt, the only thing is it will not in report level prompt you have, since that is built at report level. It will be having the feature to identify the values that we define in prompts. But this does not have that, detection kind of feature to identify. Now I have entered David. It was not able to identify employee name with David or any value that is. That is a kind of David it was not able to identify. And it has given all the you-know values here, which I think which it is not able to detect that one. In most of the cases, it might not work as needed. Just instead of going for calculated functions or prompt, go for report prompt feature. And go through all the other functions that you wanted to cover for today. Tomorrow, my agenda for tomorrow will be get you multiple examples for lookup that relates to single instance, multi-instance, and how you can associate primary business object to secondary business object through lookup function. I'm trying to go ahead and try to create some kind of graphical format for you and try to get some examples that we can cover. Lookup. Lookup is a very important category and you should be using that lookup in almost all the report types, whether it is complex. Normal review report will be getting a chance to use lookup in all the report types. I think we have done multiple examples, but I'll try to give you more examples, which makes you to understand in an easy way. Thank you. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.